Hey guys, and welcome to today's technical update. My name is Alejandro Zambrano, Chief Market Analyst with Amana Capital. In today's overview, we're going to provide you guys a quick update on the euro dollar, pound dollar, and the dollar yen. I'm gonna show you guys which levels to focus on, what the trend is, and as well talk a bit about what has actually triggered the move in these three currency pairs. So let's begin with the euro versus the USD. So this is the euro dollar, and we're looking at a daily chart. You can see that price nicely has been trading higher over the last few months, and the last major low was created on the 20th of June at 111.17. From that level, we had a nice rally to the upside. The whole move was about 334 pips. So after such a move, it does make sense that the market needs to pull back a bit. And one way of figuring out how much it can pull back is just to use a simple Fibonacci tool. So if you use a tool like this, you can now see that we have moved down to the first level, which is the 38.2% correction level. But it can of course correct with 50%, and in some cases all the way up to 61.8. So we needed some sort of profit taking, and of course with the public holidays in the US, it did make sense that this would roll over, and as well because of the ISM manufacturing index published yesterday. Now that number showed that the US manufacturing sector increased far faster than expected, and if the numbers remain this strong by next month, then it's likely that we'll see the confidence at the Fed gain again, and the confidence about the dollar and the Fed looking to increase interest rates later this year. So that as well is a positive news. I haven't seen that for quite some time, and that's one of the triggers as well pushing this lower. So we have profit taking, ISM, and then the public holidays as well. That changes the pattern we saw in the run up to this, on the run up all the way up to 114-ish. So we're back down here, we're at the first fib, and I would guess that around the breakout level and the 50% pullback level, we might actually see the euro bounce. So which are the levels you want to focus on to identify some sort of a bounce? Well, in the short term, you have a high created here at 114.43, followed by another high at 114.26, and the last major high, or last important high really, is the high created today. So as long as you trade in this downtrend, this market can continue to go up and move down lower to eventually push to the upside. So what you want to do is you want to wait for the short-term trend to end and turn bullish in line with the big picture. And this type of trading is called multiple time frame analysis. In the case of the pound, it's a very similar situation. So we had strong US data, and on the other hand, we have had relatively soft data so far from the UK. Now, if we look at the fib levels here, we have not corrected the first fib, which is down here, close to 128.54. And then you have the 50% pullback level, which is pretty much 128. Now, what is interesting here as well is that this whole market is not as bullish as the euro dollar. The euro dollar has a nice kind of pace and pattern on the daily, where you can see that it moves up higher, whereas in the case of the pound dollar, this market is still bullish but much more flat. So because it's much more flat and the trend is not as strong here on the daily, it's even more likely that we'll have a steeper pullback in the pound dollar. So I would remain bearish, looking for price to move down to maybe 128.60, 128. And again, to have a better take on when this market may bounce, we can take a look at something like the 30-minute. Here you can see that price is creating lower and lower highs, and I think as long as you trade below 129.58, that this downtrend can continue, and then we'll wait for some sort of a bounce from lower levels. In the case of the dollar yen, if you look here, this is the daily chart, and the dollar yen has had a good time here. US data has been bullish lately, and then we had comments from members, BOJ members like Harada, which we discussed not so long time ago, and this is all pushing prices to the upside. Now the dollar yen is about to reach an important high here, and I don't actually think it's going to break that high just yet. Obviously it may do so, and we're going to target these highs, but it's unlikely that we'll break these without some sort of a pullback. So the levels I'm referring to is pretty much 113.96 and 114.38. But as you can see here on the daily, the trend is firmly bullish. So let's take a look at the 30-minute. This is the 30-minute, and the market found a low here, and then we have another low here. So in the short term, I would argue, as long as you trade above 112.70, that any type of pullbacks in price, say if we have a pullback of 40 or 50 pip or so, will most likely be met by buyers, which will try to lift price to the target of 114. And that, guys, concludes today's presentation. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates like these. Thank you so much for watching this.